Chrono Odyssey is a beautiful game that you probably will not like. I'm a longtime fan of the MMO genre, dating back to RuneScape and Vanilla WoW, with me only missing parts of Mista Pandaria. So I'm confident in saying that this will be a fantastic MMORPG with engaging combat that you will not care to play. Chrono Odyssey, developed by NPixel, released essentially a hype video a few days ago that showcased the world, combat, and classes. They even indirectly gave us a tease of what group content would be like. Let's start off with the art style. I have no criticisms here. The landscape is beautiful, player characters look amazing, and the various enemies teased all look like they'll create highly cinematic fights. NPixel's art department deserves a round of applause. Moving on to combat, it looks interesting. Overall, the combat we're seeing in this video reminds me of Black Desert Online meets Souls-like. The couple giant bosses have Monster Hunter vibes, but presumably those will be less common than the humanoid creatures we see throughout. The press release calls out that the combat aims to be unpredictable. This could mean anything from modular movesets on bosses to the delayed attacks that are rampant through Elden Ring and much of Dark Souls 3. Adaptive bosses sound fun, but never being able to truly learn a fight sounds like it might get a bit tedious. What's not tedious is hitting that like and subscribe button to make sure that you see more of the content you love, and it also helps the channel a ton. My hopes are that combat uses a parry system to defend against incoming melee, because I always find that more engaging than just rolling around at the enemy's feet. But perhaps avoiding damage is where the time manipulation mechanic will come into play. Will it act as a last stand type mechanic similar to Mortal Shell ejecting you on a fatal hit to reclaim your armor? There's definitely going to be a ton of attention on how the time manipulation mechanic works, especially when partied up with other players. Surely one player reversing time will not impact the rest of the party, because that does sound a bit like a recipe for griefing. Transitioning from combat, the Xbox news post gave us the 6 classes that will be available in Chrono Odyssey. We'll have Swordsman, which is presumably a samurai type character, Ranger, which will be ranged, Sorcerer to sling spells and perhaps heal, Berserker to fill the barbarian class fantasy, Paladin, which has me the most curious due to the wide scope of class identity that's possible there, and finally Assassin, which could be an interesting dose of stealth combat, though more likely it will just be a dex-based melee class. All of this is said to come together in a dynamic world impacted by player choice. Just by simply exploring the world, you will find yourself crossing paths with other players and engaging in large-scale world bosses. This all sounds like great fun, but it is a Korean MMO. That means sooner or later your character will hit a grind wall and a gambling wall, unless the game is being fundamentally designed for a Western or global market reach. This is just how Korean and to an extent Eastern MMORPGs tend to run. If you have any experience with BDO, then you're already familiar with the design model and know that it will be a divisive point. All of that is not to say it won't be a fun game, it absolutely will, but you just have to be aware that there will likely be a paywall with heavy microtransactions to continue the progression curve. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the Chrono Odyssey announcement trailer. Are you going to be following this one closely? Are you over the MMO genre entirely after the countless entries failed so quickly? Personally, I'm looking forward to learning more, but I won't be holding my breath for a microtransaction-free experience. That's all for Xbox and MMOs today. Thanks for watching.